The goal of the Evolve project is to mainstream virtual exchange in higher education. To do this, Evolve is taking a multi-pronged approach that includes both training in teaching with virtual exchange and research on the impact of virtual exchange. To measure the impact of virtual exchange, Evolve is collecting data from several different groups: university policy and decision makers, educators, and students. To evaluate impact on university policy and decision makers, Evolve is carrying out a baseline study on the state of awareness of virtual exchange among institutions of higher education. The first part of the baseline study, or survey, was launched in September 2018, and the follow-up is scheduled to take place at the conclusion of the Evolve project in 2020. To evaluate the impact of virtual exchange on educators, Evolve will administer a survey to participating teachers and carry out interviews with focal teachers. During the first round of exchanges in 2019, Evolve will collect this data from a small pilot group of teachers to guide the primary study on the next round of teachers in the following cohort. To evaluate the impact of virtual exchange on students, Evolve will administer a protocol or survey to all students, carry out interviews with focal students, and analyze optional reflection portfolios that select teachers integrate into their courses. This survey will be administered before and after the exchange and consists of different components that are selected in conjunction with the teachers to reflect the specific focus of each exchange. These components are critical digital literacy skills, transversal skills, intercultural competence, language skills, and disciplinary competence. Two components of the student survey in particular will be developed in collaboration with educators to ensure they accurately reflect the anticipated language and disciplinary skills to be targeted by the virtual exchanges. These are the language skills and disciplinary competence. The language skill component will be based upon the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, and educators whose virtual exchange has a language focus will be consulted to identify up to 5 can-do self-assessment statements to include in the survey. For instance, in a virtual exchange with a focus on developing skills in Spanish, a teacher might select a learning goal related to linguistic range. I can use a very wide range of language to formulate thoughts precisely and without ambiguity, and my Spanish knowledge does not restrict what I want to say. The disciplinary skill component draws upon Bloom's taxonomy to develop and classify learning objectives. Educators whose virtual exchange has a focus on developing specific skills within a discipline will be consulted to help develop up to 5 items to include in the survey. For instance, an educator developing a virtual exchange with a focus on nursing skills might identify a learning goal related to the ability to apply new information to actual situations. I can apply my knowledge of theories and models in the delivery of healthcare to individuals across the lifespan in planning nursing care. In this manner, linking the training to the design of research protocols for students will allow Evolve to develop items for the language and disciplinary skills protocols which reflect the actual language and disciplinary skills to be targeted by virtual exchanges. And finally, this training on learning goal identification and development will help guide educators' thinking and awareness of the types of learning that can be supported by virtual exchange.